the airline industry in 2009? Where do you think that's heading?
Yeah, I think, we've gone through a couple of, bad moments and bad times since I remember. We've had tough times in the 80s. We've had multiple critical times in the early 90s, and clearly the early 2000s. So I would say probably 10 years or
7 to 10, yep.
7 to 10 year sort of cycle that goes around. So I hope that my thought is that, of course, airlines probably be fewer major airlines that we'll be seeing, yet the airline industry will always be around because people need to travel from point A to point B.
Right.
Optimizing hopefully some of the services that are in existence. But part of what I love about the airline industry is the dynamics. It's the never a dull moment, always posing challenges.
Yep.
And I clearly don't really see any of that changing in the future.
Airlines in 2009, where do you see them going?
Well, much greater focus in terms of what they're doing from an operational standpoint is absolutely going to be the case. I think also, thinking about the customer, when customers are thinking about now taking that trip, when it's more of a leisure travel, for example, it's something that's coming out of my pocket. I'm going to be much more critical about what that experience is like, and I'm going to make sure that that the experience I have is one that really delivers. So the idea that the brand has to really be very focused now more than ever on what that experience is like, and understanding how they can shape and frame that experience is more important than ever, because customers are going to not only be more critical of you, but there's also an opportunity for you to get customers who will choose to fly you who maybe wouldn't have in the past. So there's an opportunity to maybe sort of pull in some people who would be sort of outside of your orbit.
The branding industry in 2009, where's that headed?
I think there's a lot of opportunity for branding in 2009. For certain brands, you're going to get trial that you haven't gotten in the past few years. So it's important to make sure that you have your brand experience aligned and ready to accept those people. There are certain premium brands that are going to have less frequency with their brands, and so it's important to maintain that brand relationship even with the less frequency. So as we look to 2009 and the unique challenges, branding more than ever is going to be very...
Airlines in 2009.
I think mobility, I've heard a lot of noise about mobility, and more airlines, providing in-flight Wi-Fi and things like that. I think that opens an interesting, it's an interesting door, I'll be curious to see what airlines really go through and kind of walk through the door and begin to provide branded services in a flight, via digital. I think that's a powerful opportunity. Again, I think, the current financial situation is, providing very, very real constraints.
Yep.
So, gas prices, who knows what's going to happen there. That impacts airlines more quickly than most.
Digital branding in 2009. What do you think? Where do you think it's headed?
I think that there's going to be more of a multi-screen kind of approach, like digital. Television is going digital in 2009. The advent of the Android and the continued success of the iPhone, are really bringing the web to people's pockets in a truly compelling way. I think we're going to see more prevalence of large-scale displays, like the Surface displays, and kind of more interactive outdoor experiences. And I think all of that is going to increase both the complexity and also the opportunity for brands to create experiences that actually are more nimble and more ubiquitous. So, I think that brands have typically thought about, okay, so what I do on television, is really different from what I do online, and I think that those lines are they have been blurry for a while, and I think in 2009 those lines are going to go away. So I think there's not going to be kind of, this is how we advertise, you know, and this is how we transact. I think those things are going to come together.
Right.
In a way that's going to need, it's going to require brand marketers to become more like product developers
Okay.
than messengers.